Hey, loves, welcome to our next cortisol detox program Zoom. I'm so excited for this one. So it's, even though we've called it LLV and MetaPWR for busy mums, it's really for busy people. I think this is most of the human population right now, because a lot of things that we hear over the years of being in doTERRA land is, oh gosh, I forget, I'm just so busy. I forget to light the diffuser in the morning, or I don't have time, and here's the thing. Unless we cultivate the art of taking a breath and asking ourselves, what do I need to support my busy morning? Things aren't going to change. Or my busy day, or my crazy night, or witching hour, or whatever it may be, things will never change. And you'll get to 70 and you'll be staring down the barrel of, if only. If only I carved out time in my day for what was important for me. If only I invested more deeply in myself, in my health, and took the things when I needed to take them, and lit the diffuser to create a new energy in my day or night, right? So we've got a beautiful session today, a bonus session with Millie, who is definitely a busy mama, who definitely has more on her plate than she can juggle. She works doTERRA as a business. She has other businesses she works in. She has the business of being a mum full-time, of being a wife full-time, right? Of being a domestic goddess full-time. So I think a lot of us can relate to this. I'm 50 and I am still wondering, where did today go? Where did the day actually go today? You know, sometimes I get down to that moment. Always in my days, though, I take my supplements. I get diffusers on, because I've cultivated these habits that are so intrinsically entrenched in me that I don't begin a day without them, and I don't end my days without them. As soon as I see or notice the diffuser's gone off, it's getting refilled and oils back in, right? It's just like, it's habit. I want to perpetuate good health and really good vibes, to be honest, in the house. So Millie, thank you so much for giving your time to us of your precious day. Let's begin with you, beautiful love.
Sure. So as Vanessa said, my name is Millie. I just turned 40 2 weeks ago, and I'm a mum, to 3 beautiful children. I have a 9-year-old girl, a 6-year-old boy, and a 2-year-old boy. So my 9-year-old and 2-year-old, but 9-year-old and 6-year-old are now at school. My 2-year-old is with me full time. And just over 2 years ago, we decided to move from Victoria to the Sunshine Coast. I was 34 weeks pregnant at the time. People thought we were crazy because we have no family here. We didn't really know anyone. We had a couple of friends, but we didn't really know anyone. And yeah, life is busy. My husband works 6 days a week. And then I work part-time around him some nights and on the weekend, and then do doTERRA as well. So yeah, life can be hectic. It's busy. So my doTERRA journey probably started around 4 years ago, just with essential oils, but I didn't really start taking the supplements until maybe a year ago. I think I started taking MetaPWR Advantage around 12 months ago, and LLV was a little bit after that. Before I started taking them, I was in my postpartum journey. I can't remember how many months postpartum I was, but I was just at a stage where I wasn't feeling right. Given, like, obviously with a baby, sleep can be hard to get, but at this stage, I feel like I was probably getting enough sleep. I should have been feeling better. You know, my energy, I had no energy. My skin was a mess. My moods were all over the shop. I just didn't feel right. And so I had a feeling it was to do with a hormonal imbalance. I actually started seeing a naturopath for this. I love naturopaths. I'm all for them. So definitely would go and see them. But in hindsight, I wish I had listened to my friend Jess first, who had told me about LLV, but I was already down the naturopath path. I basically put on a protocol of supplements and herbs for an extended period of time. It was for 6 months. I was spending an absolute fortune. And it was working. It definitely started working, but I think after 3 months, we just couldn't sustain it. I just couldn't keep taking them, so I had to stop. And then gradually symptoms started coming back as to where they were. So that's when I decided to start taking LLV and take Jess's advice. I had a look at the ingredients and noticed that a lot of what my naturopath was making up for me was actually in the LLV bundle. I think the omega supplement that I was taking was $90 on its own. So, and then everything else on top of that, like I was spending a fortune. So yeah, that's when I started taking LLV, and since being consistent with that, things are a lot more stable with me, and my hormonal health and everything. So why do busy mums need foundational support? Like, being a mum is amazing. It's an honor. It's a privilege. I love it. I always wanted to be a mum. It is the best thing, but it is stressful and it can be hard at times, especially if you don't have support around you. And yeah, it's a wild ride sometimes. We live this multitasking lifestyle of trying to be everything for everyone all the time. And you're running a household, you're managing work, you're managing the kids, you're the cook, you're the cleaner, you're everything, trying to be a good wife, trying to just do everything for everyone. And it can be really easy to forget to look after yourself. I think a lot of mums or parents in general just put everyone else's needs first rather than taking care of yourself. It's very, very common. I hear it all the time, and I've definitely done it before. So it can be really easy to forget to look after yourself. And when we're go, go, go all the time, it can mean that you're running in this constant state of stress, trying to get everything done. I don't know about anyone else, but the 5 hours in a school day is the shortest 5 hours of my life. Trying to get everything done in those 5 hours, I swear to God, it feels like 30 minutes. So yeah, it can be stressful. And yeah, chronic stress depletes nutrients. So when you go, go, go all the time, it's a lot on your body. The body's demand for vitamins and minerals and antioxidants increases under stress. It burns through those nutrients faster. And they are the building blocks to have energy, balance your hormones, and stay calm. So it's really important to be replenishing them. And yeah, if you've got inflammation or fatigue of signs of hormonal imbalance, they're often early signs that you need deeper support. And that's where I was. So that's when this came into my life. So with the lifelong vitality, you've got your alpha CRS, your omega supplement, and your microplex, your vitamins. Yeah, the bundle of vitamins that my naturopath was putting together was a lot more than $135. And that was just like, would have been just this one. So yeah, alpha CRS is your cellular vitality, antioxidant support, combats oxidative stress, which is linked to cortisol, high cortisol. Your omegas is your healthy fats for brain and heart health, helps reduce inflammation and supports mood. And then your microplex is your whole food vitamins, minerals for energy, immunity, and hormone function. So for me, I'm a pretty good eater. I think nutrition is really, really important. As my dear friend Jess says, increasing nutrition and reducing toxins is so, so important. That's where it all starts. So eating really well is really important. And I do eat pretty well. Like, we limit processed food. I try and cook stuff from scratch. We focus on whole foods. I'm definitely not perfect. I don't think anyone could be perfect. But even with a diet like mine, I have still noticed a difference with LLV. A lot of people think you don't need to supplement, but it's quite hard to get all the nutrients and minerals that we need these days. Our soils aren't what they used to be. They've been over-farmed, which means fruits and veggies that we eat today have way fewer minerals and vitamins than they did 50 years ago. So also busy lives, like when you're busy, you don't necessarily reach for the nutritious things that your body needs. You often eat quickly, you skip meals, or you're grabbing processed foods because they're convenient. I've had so many mums. I had a conversation with a friend in the park the other day about how, like, she doesn't really eat breakfast. Like, so many mums miss meals. They just end up eating their kids' toast crusts for breakfast because they don't have time. And that is not going to fuel your body. And then it's just a flow-on effect. And that's when everything starts falling apart. So yeah, that's why smart supplementation is so important, because it's about filling the gaps that we can't get in our diet because we're not perfect. And it gives our bodies the solid foundation that they need to handle stress and have steady energy. So the MetaPWR system, I absolutely love the MetaPWR system. As I said, I started with just the Advantage, and I wasn't consistent when I first started taking it. It was just, when I bought it, I was just because it was a collagen. I was already taking another collagen, but now knowing what I know about this, I will never, ever stop taking it. So this is the collagen MetaPWR Advantage. I think it's a total game changer for busy mums. It helps your body make clean energy at a cellular level. It supports your blood sugar, metabolic health, strengthens things like your hair, skin, nails, and your gut health. So instead of feeling worn out and run down, you feel stronger, steadier, and more like yourself again. I just was away camping for a week and I forgot to take this, and I have felt it. I have been feeling groggy in the afternoons, and just foggy and just, yeah, less energy and not right. So I was really glad to get home, and hopefully I never forget to take them away again. I personally take this in the afternoon. I find it's a good afternoon pick me up. So I take it when I get home from school pickup rather than grabbing for like an afternoon snack or another coffee or a glass of wine. I've actually, like, in a couple of times I've posted myself drinking this in the afternoon. I've had friends message me saying they're having a glass of wine to get through the afternoon. So this is like, there's nothing wrong with wine. I drink wine, but yeah, this is definitely going to do more for you. But you can really take it whenever. I know some people take it first thing in the morning. You just have to take it when it works for you. But personally, I find the afternoon is good because I also go off to work at night and I'm not feeling tired. Like, I can go off to work feeling fine. So that's when I do it. The MetaPWR Assist. So this helps with glucose spikes, more stable energy. So taking this before your highest carb meal of the day, I guess. Which would generally for me be dinner. I don't take it every night, but if we're having pasta or rice or, I don't know, even like a high fat meal, I would take that 30 minutes before dinner. It's not always 30 minutes. Sometimes it's 10 minutes. As long as you're taking it, I think that that's the important thing. And then the oil blend, I love this blend. I have a liter stainless steel drink bottle, and I tend to put like 2 to 3 drops in that every day. That was how I was taking it. I don't think I've ever actually diffused it, but I just like taking it internally. And I have recently started adding it to my first glass of water. So when I wake up, the first thing I do is have a big glass of water. I was having lemon in it. I'm now having sometimes lemon and the MetaPWR, and then I set up my diffuser. It's really good, and throughout the day as well. Like, it's really good for helping cravings, supports balanced blood sugar. Yeah, so I love the oil. And the beadlets, if you have the beadlets, these are just really handy to have like in your bag throughout the day. If I'm at work and I don't get a break, rather than grabbing for like a pastry or something, I just pop a few of these, and it really helps for cravings and hunger. So I love them. So some practical tips for busy mums. Through a lot of conversations I've had with friends and customers that are new to taking supplements, a lot of people find it hard to get into the routine of things. I think that that's just, I don't know, normal with anything, but it's just about setting up that routine and implementing into your life so that it just becomes part of your day, like brushing your teeth or getting dressed. So habit stacking is really important. Habit stacking is a simple way to build a new habit by attaching it to something you're already doing every day. So for instance, taking your LLV when you're having breakfast and making the kids lunch, or having it next to your toothbrush in the bathroom with a glass of water there. So you brush your teeth and then you just take it. So attaching it to something you're already doing. A couple of other people I know, like, pre-separate everything. So for your LLV, for instance, you could have one of those vitamin things and divvy up for the week. And that way you're not opening the bottles every day. You just literally like flick the thing and you're done. I did that while I was camping. I did remember my LLV, and I have this vitamin thing, and it was so helpful because it was already just there. I just flicked the lid and took it. So that's another way to try and remember. And yeah, just keeping them out on the bench where you can see them rather than in the cupboard, I think is important. Like I have my MetaPWR Advantage in a cup just on the bench. So it's there every day. And I just see it and then you remember to take it. And setting an alarm can be really helpful as well. I find with MetaPWR Assist, sorry. That's probably the one I do forget sometimes. So setting an alarm can be really helpful to remind you to take it. Yeah, having your MetaPWR Advantage in a shaker bottle if you're going to work, just put it in your bag before you go to work each day. And yeah, having it where you can see it, I think is really important. So some of the benefits I have noticed, sorry, I've got a little bit of a cough, so I'm trying the talking. Some of the things that I've noticed with MetaPWR, I think the biggest thing I noticed with the Advantage was my sleep. I've never been a great sleeper. I tend to fall asleep but wake up pretty quickly. I couldn't believe the effect it had on my sleep. I was sleeping so much better. Less sugar cravings, weight loss, like my weight is more consistent, healthier metabolism, my hunger's more regulated, like less snacking. My hair, my skin, everything, more sustained energy through the day. And then with LLV, again, my energy as well. Like I would say lately I've been having less sleep than I did with a newborn, now with a 2-year-old. And some people can't believe how I'm functioning when I tell them how much sleep I've had. And I really put it down to what I'm putting in my body, and the LLV helps. More stable moods. My mum rage before my period has gone. I think many people know how that feels. Like when you're leading into your period, your moods can be wild, and that has definitely stabled out for me. Yeah, more energy through the day, less PMS symptoms. My ovulation pain has decreased as well, which is something I always had. Improved mood, emotional resilience, stronger immune system. The big one for me was my hormones balancing, because I was really out of whack. And to be able to do that with a $135 product rather than hundreds of dollars is unreal. Sorry. A big one I hear from my customers and friends and others in our team is just about moods and overwhelm. I think that's a big one for mums, like less stress and overwhelm, less emotional ups and downs, being able to tolerate your kids a little bit more and not being so snappy with them. Like what's going on inside. It's not just what's going on around outside, it's what's going on inside. When your body is properly nourished, your mood is steadier, your mind is clearer, you have more energy. It's just a flow-on effect to all the other parts of your life. Your digestion is better and hormones. So yeah, I would say if you aren't taking any of these supplements, give them a try. Just start small and stay consistent. Like your body wants to feel better. It's not a quick fix. It's about being consistent. It's foundational nourishment. And yeah, just give them a go. I mean, doTERRA offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, which is unreal. I can't imagine anyone sends them back, but I would strongly recommend giving them a go. Like they've changed my life. So like, yeah, $135 for LLV rather than hundreds and hundreds of dollars from a naturopath is a win for me. And I've started other friends on these products and my mum on these products, and everyone is loving them. So that's me. Sorry about the coughing.
Oh, don't be sorry,
Got
honey.
like a tickle
Totally.
here, and I knew it would start the more I talk.
Yes. Yeah, totally. It's totally okay. You can, is it like a dry tickle?
Mm,
Yeah. So if you've
all I've got.
have you got the Manuka or the Kanuka? Either of those two work. Rosalina, tea
I've got that.
tree, any of those LTOs. I'm showing you how to use some of the LTOs, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise, tea tree, layer it over with a little bit of myrrh and sandalwood, or just tea tree and jasmine touch, or just tea tree. And gargle tea tree. Gargle tea tree in warm water. And that really helps with that dry tickle as well. Yeah. A little bit of honey, right?
Yeah,
With
I did
it's
that
like a
before I came on.
teaspoon of honey with a drop of sandalwood on it.
Mhm.
It's so good. I teach everyone this. Look at Holly nodding. Yes. It's like one of the things I'm always, as soon as anything through it comes on, put that on. Ask my kids every time they smell sandalwood, that's their association. Yeah, On Guard in a roller for your throat. You know what, Jess? It's funny because see how I didn't even mention On Guard? Because I find it's really strong on my throat, on my skin. Paul chucks it on neat. Even me in the touch form, I find it quite strong. Look, Jess is hardcore like that too. But so yeah, I do others, but yes. Okay. Millie, I just want to thank you so much for this. This was great. It was so, I love how it was just so succinct and compact. And those pillboxes she's talking about, that's one of the giveaways that I'm actually doing at the moment, you know, with people that are showing up live. I've got a beautiful bundle here I put out for those that are coming on live. You know, I've got like $100 cortisol detox gift pack going out. So Elaine actually won that. I just want to show you what I've got in there. I have the Essential Emotions book and the wheel by our beautiful uplines, Andy and Natalie. I've got these gorgeous beeswax candles with pure cotton wicks so that no one's using any nasties. I know Elaine wouldn't. I've got the doTERRA mulberry silk eye mask. The reason I put candles in is because I find this really soothing to my nervous system in little tea light holders and just have that beautiful golden light in the evening. I'm throwing in some MetaPWR sachets. Yeah, and there's a beautiful card in there, and yeah, little things like this. I've got and I've got a bottle of On Guard as well, just here as well. That's all wrapped up, ready to go in the post. So it's probably a bit more than 100, but I don't care. And then for the person who joined us live on the weekend, I've got a Balanced Touch that's going out, aromatic dressing bowl, and FCO, and it's just out of my reach, and a little bottle of oil. So lots of spoiling happening for those that are showing up live. I want to encourage you, hello to those watching the recording, to join live as much as you can, because at the end of this, we're going to turn off and have our Q&A time and sharing. And often there's just so much gold in this, but also when you show up live, it keeps you accountable, right? It keeps you going with this program. So before we sign off, does anyone have any questions for Millie or for Jess or myself? We're here to support you anyway for busy mamas. Was that all clear and helpful? Or busy
So good,
nonna?
Millie.
Busy nonna for you, Teresa. Sorry, Jess, go.
No, just so good, Millie. I just think that the simplicity of it is what some people stumble on, to be honest. I think we have such an incredible offering with the LLV and the MetaPWR that people discredit it. So my question for you is, in all honesty, I'm going to be like, because you and I had a discussion about this, and I knew that you were taking products from your naturopath, and I was like, that's great, and you've got things going on. What do you think it was that you were like, oh no, I'll put off trying these products? Like, what was the initial resistance in the starting? Was it the fact that it seemed too simple, or it seemed too not specific enough for you, or?
Yeah, I would say that. Like, I think initially, yeah, probably too simple. I probably felt like I needed more. I guess I hadn't really looked into what was in them, but I probably needed more than what it was, and that it wasn't practitioner prescribed, that kind of thing. And yeah, then because I was already in it, and I've had good success with naturopaths before for a similar thing, so I just felt like that was what I had to do. But yeah, in hindsight, like after looking at what was in these and looking at what I was on, I wish I had just tried this first. Like, I would have saved myself a lot of money.
You would have saved
Like, I
yourself a lot
love,
of money, but I'm like, I'm not asking the question because trying to bring up any regret. I'm trying to understand how we can communicate this better for other people. Like, what is the block when we're talking about, because the way you just articulated that it helped you with brain fog, you're sleeping better, your weight stabilizing, like a number of your key things that you said. I heard you say that you're snapping at your kids less. Like, this stuff is insanely powerful, and the world is actually asking these solutions. And I would love everybody to try it. And I think there's plenty of people on this call who are nodding like, yes, I have such and such a woman, or my, father-in-law or brother-in-law who's cranky all the time. Like, it's not just for girls, we know this. But how we can be learning how to communicate this for other people, first getting it for ourselves, and then being able to say, like, if you hadn't have had that personal experience yourself, then you don't speak with such that level of, oh, it really helped. That's why I asked the question. Did anyone else have any questions?
I'd love to hear comments from people who have either come back on to the supplements for this program, or you're trying them for the first time, or you're consistent for the first time. How's it going for you? Does anyone have any real life, this is making a difference to this for me? Yes, Teresa, come off mute. Go for it, darling.
Hello. I went off it for a little while because I was trialing something else, and that didn't go well. But coming back onto the LLV, being really consistent every day, because I think you were similar in the sense that we're just not good at pill taking. So to make it easy for me, I also got myself a nanobox a few years ago, because the thing of unscrewing the cap every time, right? So the pill box, brilliant idea, love it. So I just thought, okay, how can I make this easy for myself? And so I've been consistent with that and the MetaPWR sachet every morning. And wow, the difference is like night and day. Night and day. I can't hear you, Vanessa. You're muted.
I am too. Tell me more, like, what do you feel you have less of, and what do you feel you have more of now since being on it consistently?
I've just got a lot more energy. I'm alert. I don't have that foggy brain anymore that I used to have. Just for people that don't know, I'm 65, well and truly into postmenopause. But I was getting joint pain and stuff like that, and so I didn't want to exercise. So for the last so many years, just not being my usual self, because I was normally quite athletic. But a few months ago I joined a gym, and I just started Pilates and yoga as well, and walking. I was in so much pain with a hip issue and sciatic pain that I couldn't do my regular walking. So weight kept coming on and all that sort of stuff. But you know what? Since I've started doing that, Nessie, the tum's gone down this last week or so. Yeah, just because I've been able to have the energy to go and actually exercise and not feel like I'm dying at the end of it, and getting into that whole walking routine. So yeah, it's just, and then my sleep is really good too, because I'm exercising, and I do it first thing in the morning. I do the whole circadian rhythm thing. Get up. This morning I had a bath at 7 a.m. I like to have a bath now at about 4 mornings a week, because I can. I got no kids at home. And so have a bath with the oils, have a bit of brekkie, go out for my walk. I walk for about an hour. And I just come back and I feel fantastic. I take the before I have my bath, like first thing in the morning, with my first morning drink is the MetaPWR. And I tried it with the lime that someone else suggested on another call, and I really like it. It is so yum. And then I have my LLV when I have my meal, like my breakfast. So, and I haven't been diligent with the actual MetaPWR oil. And I know we discussed this on another call, and I've tried, but yeah, that's why I asked the question, can I put it in with the MetaPWR first thing in the morning.
Yes, yes.
At least that gets the first dose out of the way, because I think you said eight drops per day.
Yeah, 8 drops per day. So, but remember, those 8 drops can be done differently. So you can have 2 drops in your MetaPWR, let's say, in your Advantage, and 2 drops in water that you're drinking throughout the day. That's 4 drops done. Then the other 4 drops go in your aromatic dressing.
Right.
So I can do up to 8 drops, sometimes 10 in my aromatic dressing, depending just how I feel and, you know, how I've woken up. Because, you know, even though we're postmenopausal officially, I'm still like 2 years since I've had a bleed. So I will still have some hot flushes. And so some mornings I wake up tired from being up and down with hot flushes or poor snoring or whatever. So I'll up the dose of the MetaPWR, because I can feel it like fuel charging my system, and it feels so good on my skin. And I love it on a dry brush. Ladies, put some on your hand, rub your hands like this, and get it on your dry brush, and dry brush with MetaPWR on it. So yeah, you want to be using about 8 to 10 drops a day of the MetaPWR internally on you, plus get some in the diffuser, right? This is the best way to use the essential oil, the 3 ways.
I haven't diffused it yet, but I've been putting it in my bath. I'm actually had 1 more bottle left of the Slim and Sassy.
Yeah.
And so I've been using that up.
Great. That's perfect. Put it with some Epsom salts or in some oil in the bath, like a bath oil. I mean, perfecto.
Yeah.
So, and then that's your aromatic dressing as you come out anyway, right? You've got it on there. So ladies, when you're using the oil, also remember that inhaling any essential oil creates change, right? So inhaling the metabolic blend, the MetaPWR blend, is also working with your metabolism, because as you inhale it, it's signaling the brain, which signals the body. What's it signaling? Well, depending on your scent associations, but then also at a scientific level, it's signaling it that you don't actually need to eat that junk food, right? Because your neurons are misfiring from messages from your body. You've maybe starved yourself. You're reducing calorie intake. You're fasting when you shouldn't be. Sometimes that's a big issue, right? You're depleted, right? So we need to look at all of this, and then inhaling, so putting it in the diffuser, putting it in your water, the metabolic blend, which is the MetaPWR, is going to help re-educate the body to get back into healthy patterns, right? So you're going to reform neural pathways that keep you on the path to healthy eating, to healthy living. Does that make sense? Jess, do you want to add a bit to that? Geek out with me a bit, because I think this is something so important for people to understand, that olfactory sense that's being given to us is a primal way for us to recondition ourselves out of junk eating and what's the other word I'm looking at? You know, when people are doing calorie control, like essentially starving themselves.
Well, I actually think Millie touched on it before too, when our brains feel like we need to just grab something, and be it like the leftover toast pieces or a croissant in the afternoon. Or I know for me, I was having trouble keeping weight on when I was breastfeeding, but I had such low energy that I was just hanging for like an espresso and a big piece of chocolate cake in the afternoon. And when you grab some essential oils, the inhalation of that, like you can, and I was doing it all 3 ways, just intuitively, to be honest, because I was like, I need help. So putting a drop on my hands and inhaling, and the blend, you mentioned the old Smart and Sassy or Slim and Sassy blend that we used to have, and the essential oils that were in that are the MetaPWR blend, but it's been reformulated to be so much more effective. For those of you who don't know, I had that question last week as well. So if you've got old bottles of it lying around, I'm using it in my washing. I wouldn't ingest it because they're out of date, but you can clean clothes with it. You can wipe your benches down. But I just think having that mind it's more of a mind game than it is a physical thing. So when you can support the mental process, every time you do a positive habit, you're creating a new neuro pathway, because we have neuroplasticity happening in our brain, and it's so quick, guys. Like, it's like that, oh, that smells good. Your body actually goes, that feels good, and I'm okay, and I'm safe, and that's positive, which is so much more impactful than having like a moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips kind of moment with those high calorie, sugary things that we gravitate to. And then you're able to nourish your body effectively. So I mentioned just briefly in there that I was actually struggling to keep weight on because I wasn't having enough good fats at the time, but I had such low energy. And because I had such hungry boys, nutrition was just flying out of me. It's always the same thing though. Decrease your toxins, increase your nutrition, like you said, Millie. And same with me. My girlfriends were like just drinking wine, and oh my gosh, I can't believe you don't like, and people would come to my house and know what a hard time I was in and bring bottles of wine. Not what my body needs, right? Not what we need. Anyway, so I think the LLV is the biggest hack there. People forget how good the omegas are in it. And so if we're having high protein breakfast, you win the morning, you win the day. So I love talking about these morning routines, getting MetaPWR in early, or even just I have LLV with breakfast and I have my MetaPWR in the afternoon when I'm heading into the pickup. And then I know, Ness, you have yours at nighttime. There's a number of you who have started taking MetaPWR before you're going to bed, and we're hearing so many people are sleeping so much better. Not with the introduction of the sleep system, funny enough, but with the introduction of the nutrients that our body is craving on a daily basis. So well done, everybody. Little things consistently, and we're getting huge results. So does that answer your question there? Sorry, I talked over that a little bit. Millie, you did such a good job at keeping it really simple. And Elise, you said in the comments too, keeping your supplements in front of you, making it really visible and making it simple. I'm a nurse by trade, so I love my pill things anyway. I'm used to like doing lots of dosing. So let's just all call it the nanodose now for our little Webster packs. Dose hits. And thank you, Vanessa, for being so generous and gifting these things. And yes, the recharge too, electrolytes, hydration.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so I've written in there a couple of things so you remember. So my nighttime synergy is the MetaPWR Advantage with 2 Serenity soft gels, which will be lavender peace soft gels in the AUNZ market. They're coming, plus 2 Copaiba soft gels. Why 2 of each? Because that's what works for me. That's actually what works for me. So the Serenity soft gel / lavender peace is working with your circadian rhythms to bring them back in. So Millie spoke so beautifully about how and why these are helping her. So did you notice she spoke about energy as well as better sleep, taking it? So it's the synergy with the MetaPWR system. The metabolic system is being worked on, tended to. We're weeding out what doesn't work for us, which is starving ourselves, going for high caloric foods to sustain us during the fight, flight, freeze responses that we're having all day because our cortisol is so out of whack and the stress response is ruling us. The lifelong vitality is working with our overall body system. It is the foundation. That's the foundation that you are going to grow good health upon, right? Nothing grows in bad soil if you're not tending to the soil, if you don't feed the soil, if you don't sustain it, right? You need to feed yourself good nourishment in order for you to keep growing. And the 3 supplements in the Lifelong Vitality box are giving you the foundations for longevity. Adding the metabolic support system to it is bringing 2 genius products together so that your whole body system is now being looked after. Now, I mentioned in the chat Terrazymes, and I've brought it up many times during this cortisol detox, Terrazymes and PB Assist, also known as, and also now they've got PB Restore. that they've built on and made an even better pre and probiotic for us. Now, why do I even mention this? Because fundamental to your health is looking after your gut, right? So yes, there's cleanse and restores and everything you can do with doTERRA, but if you can just tend to it daily, right? And we can do a masterclass on this. Maybe Jess and I can get on and run a session for you all after this cortisol detox, just for you to understand. Because did you know when someone takes antibiotics, this isn't a guilt trip, this is just science, it takes 7 years for the body to replace half of the flora that was taken out, because antibiotics are clearing out the good and the bad flora. Now, sometimes it is essential, like it's life-threatening. So again, I am not guilting anyone into this. I just want you to understand that a lot of people grew up because antibiotics was all your parents knew. So your flora is out of whack. That means your brain is out of whack. Your moods are out of whack because your gut is looking after everything. So what Millie shared today is like the building blocks of everything you need to thrive, right? You want to take it the next level, you need PB Assist or PB Restore. And then the Terrazymes are digestive enzymes, because by the age of 40, your digestive enzymes, I'm sorry, it's like they're so heavily depleted that your body struggles with that enzymatic response. So we need to support it. And the Terrazymes are educating the body and supporting it. Do you know that I used to have to take Terrazymes with every meal? Every meal. And now I barely need to take it at all. I take 1 to 2 at night when I go to bed to help me just to feel really good. It's working on me while I'm sleeping. And I've noticed this last probably 2 weeks, I haven't even been taking them every night. I haven't needed to. I haven't had the bloat going on. I haven't had pain going on, right? Now, it also helps with move to the country, so we're never eating out. I'm also only eating my own food. But what does that tell you about what goes into food that you eat out with, right? So please understand that the simplicity of this program of supplementation is something that will bring your body back to its natural state, just as Creator and your soul intended for this lifetime. And that's the truth. You know, Creator made us perfect. We're human though, so we have all this kerfuffle going on in our lives, right? But if we can come closer to the perfection of our template, which is long life, we're designed to live past 100, well and truly past 100, right? So taking this also works with mood modulation, your mental health. What did you write there, Jess? And it what increases rates of depression?
Sorry, you were talking about antibiotic use, and because
Yes.
it just cleans out your gut flora, obviously all of your happy hormones in your gut also get wiped out. So statistically
Yes.
now we're looking at an increase of depression and anxiety by over 30% for the 12 months. We're looking at that. So that study was on the 6 months prior to having a course of antibiotics.
Yeah.
Blows you away, right? And we're giving these to little kids, and it's one of my pet hates because the overuse of antibiotics is not getting better, even though we know so much about how it's affecting us negatively. I think that the social pressure of turning up to a GP with a sore throat or with something and walking away with a script is still there. So what can I do with babies? I think we're still recording. Do we want to go?
Yeah, we'll stop recording. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Oh my gosh. I was like, yes, Millie, it's great that you're doing a short one so that they've got a short recording to watch. And we got all excited and kept recording. Anyway, for those watching the recording, I hope you love this bonus section. We're going to keep going. And Millie, thank you. That was a great presentation. I loved it. I got so much out of it. Thank you so much for your time, my darling.
Thank you. No worries.